What makes video game music so special? Honestly, on a technical level, I have no clue. I know nothing about how music is made, but that's not what this video is about. I'm talking about how the placement of video game music can elevate a game from good to great and how some songs can help create some of the most iconic moments in your favorite games. I know many other YouTubers have made videos like this before, but I just got done playing a game with an amazing soundtrack that really made the game special, and I just need to gush about it and what makes other music and games good. Video game music makes me happy. Video game music makes me sad. Video game music makes me want to rip apart the demons of hell with my bare hands. When it comes to movies or TV shows, soundtracks can help make a scene stand out, but in my opinion, it doesn't affect me as much as the beeps and boops in video games do. Probably because I'm not a direct part of the movie or the show. Don't get me wrong, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars have some of the best soundtracks of all time, but in my opinion, they don't affect me as emotionally as video game music does. With video games, you, the player, are directly playing a role in the game, and the music in these games can help immerse you further in these worlds that you are playing in. I remember the first time I played Kingdom Hearts 2, where you play as Roxas in the intro of the game and do nothing but hang out with your friends for like 2 hours, and this one beautiful track always played in the background. It made little 7-year-old Dankin want to live in this world and sit at the edge of a building eating ice cream with the boys and hoping that we would never grow up. Video game music can help immerse you in these worlds better than most movies or TV shows can, mainly since movies or TV shows are one-shot stories where the music is directly made for the scene, while video games are more dynamic, and in return, so too are their soundtracks. Plenty of games use dynamic music, but Nier Automata, in my opinion, is one of the best games to utilize it. In certain areas of the game, it'll play that area's theme, and it needs to be able to loop well enough to not be annoying after multiple times of hearing it. It will also change the style of the song depending on how far you are in the game or what is happening on screen. So while the City Ruins track normally plays, like right here, just an instrumental, it will start adding more instruments when you enter combat, or even later in the game it will add vocals to the track. It also does this really cool thing where when playing as 9S and you hack an enemy, it will seamlessly change whatever song you were listening to into an 8-bit track and then back to the normal version after the attack is done. With the dynamic music of video games, it can lead a player to experience a game's soundtrack in certain ways that other players might not, while in a movie or TV show, it's exactly how the creators want you to experience their creation. First impressions can go a long way. The first time you boot up that brand new game that you've been dying to play, you're usually met with either an intro video or you go straight to the main menu. This can then lead to something that you watch or listen to every single time that you play this game. Take the original Halo, for example. Every time that I launch this game, especially having not played it in a while, I'll always just sit there and take that sweet theme in until it's over. LAN party with the boys, drums coming in, everyone goes da 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 da. It never gets old. First impressions are one of the best ways to make music in video games memorable. Do you remember the first time you played Kingdom Hearts and heard Simple and Clean for the first time? Of course you do. Persona 5? Banger. Do you remember Shadow the Hedgehog? Hopefully you don't, but that intro is great. Now here's where first impressions can get tricky. With the first 3 games, you immediately fall in love with the intros, and it makes you want to pay more attention to the actual in-game music, which is also incredible. But Shadow the Hedgehog throws you a little curveball where none of the music in the game comes close to being as good as the intro, and it doesn't help that the game itself is, not good. Now when it comes to first impressions of music involving gameplay, I think one of the best examples is Ghost of Tsushima. After finishing the tutorial, you get to the point where the game finally opens up, and you get this amazing sequence where you're all alone riding your horse through a forest in Japan, and this orchestra piece is playing in the background. You come to a point where you get to an open field with white flowers, and the music builds up to reach this crescendo where the black bars surrounding your screen go away, and you finally get the title card for the game. You immediately soak in the atmosphere and get immersed in the game, and your character does this awesome little thing where he leans over and starts brushing his hand against the flowers. I know this video is about music in games, but Whoever did that animation or whatever team did that, bravo to you guys, because that little gesture was awesome. First impressions are a perfect way to make your music stand out in games, but there are multiple other ways to make them stand out by having the score fit whatever is happening in the game you're playing. And one of those ways is creating hype. Doom and its sequel, Doom Eternal, have some of the most metal soundtracks in a video game, and it perfectly fits with the tone and setting of the game. When the songs come in, it's always some of the most hype shit imaginable. It always plays something intense during every encounter in the game, and during the big boss moments, it never fails to play a song that makes you feel like the biggest badass to walk the earth, or hell. Even when you're playing the game poorly, the game just feels awesome with the crazy music going off in the background. I genuinely do not think that Doom would be anywhere near as fun as it is if it had a different soundtrack. But alongside Doom, there is one game that I truly believe manages to capture pure hype with its music, unlike any other game. And that game is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg. Why won't you die? Can't hurt me, Jack. Nanomachine, son. Don't fuck with this senator. Die! Die, you piece of shit!
Yeah, this game's tight as fuck. This game is non-stop insanity from start to finish, and has one of the most hyped video game soundtracks of all time. The first boss of the game, you find a Metal Gear right off the bat, and when the instrumental Rules of Nature comes in, it kickstarts one of the most hyped moments in a video game. But one thing that this game really knows how to do well is build up that hype. Each time a boss theme starts, it only plays the instrumental version of the song, but when you get to Phase 2, it blasts you with the full version of the song with the lyrics. It never fails to give me goosebumps when you stop the Metal Gear sword swing and kicks in while you slice the Metal Gear apart. This game is getting a resurgence recently, or a revengeance, haha, get it? And it makes me so happy seeing more people experience this amazing game, and hopefully it makes Platinum realize that people want more of this and not more of that.
Say, as long as you're still here, maybe you could sing for us?
All right. As long as you can hear my voice, you'll know I'm still connected.
Warning. Dymo signatures approaching.
13 Sentinels is the best game that you've never heard of. It's a visual novel kind of game with a tower defense element to it that has one of the best stories in all of gaming. And alongside being one of the best games I've personally ever played, it also has a very good soundtrack. So good that this moment I'm going to talk about is one of the main reasons that I'm making this video in the first place. During 13 Sentinel's visual novel segments, there are plenty of tracks that are very mysterious or emotional and add to the feel and story of the game, and the tower defense segments have tracks that are always intense bangers that help make the simple battle sections much more fun. But there is one battle mission in particular that really made me fall in love with the game's soundtrack and became one of my favorite moments in a game, period. Seaside Vacation is a song that is mentioned multiple times in-game throughout the visual novel segments, sung by one of the characters in the game, but you never actually hear it until this mission. This is also one of, if not the only mission in the entire game where you need to play offensively instead of defensively, so you would think that the game would play something more intense to get your blood flowing, but instead it plays a soft J-pop-ish song that reminds you of being on summer vacation with all your friends. It was such a strange moment in the game that was so out of left field from what you are used to, but it worked out perfectly. After a certain amount of time, you actually lose connection to the singer because of story reasons, and the music goes back to your normal battle theme, letting you know that shit is about to get real. There's also plenty of story reasons of why this song and moment hit so hard, but it's generally impossible to explain this game's story without sounding fucking insane, so hopefully this entices you to play the game for yourself. Seriously, this game is incredible, and there's really no other game that is like it. probably expected this to be here when you saw Nier earlier. One of the greatest endings to really anything that I can ever think of, and I don't think it would have hit half as hard if the end of Yorha version of Weight of the World wasn't here. Spoilers for this game are coming, so this is your warning if you haven't played this game and want to in the future. At the very end of the game, ending E, you get the usual credit sequence that you would find in any other game, but you quickly realize something isn't quite right. Instead of just watching the credits, the game asks you if you would like to salvage the data of those you lost in the story. If you choose to accept, you become this little ship that you can control that must shoot the credits, kind of like the old Super Smash Bros. Credit sequences. The song Weight of the World, which has been the credits theme for the past 4 endings, starts playing and it's looping each time in a different language. The twist here is that it's pretty much impossible to win by yourself. Each time you die, you get a message asking if you want to keep moving on, if you accept death, if life itself is pointless, and at the same time it's showing you message from others telling you to keep going on and to never give up. But if you keep pushing forward, it gets to the point where you can't go on by yourself, and you can then request aid from other players around the world. These players are those that have sacrificed their entire save file to help you overcome the final boss, the creators themselves. If you choose to accept, their ships surround you and give you extra firepower to overcome the credits, all the while a new version of Weight of the World starts playing, where many voices are heard singing along to the song, creating one of the most emotional payoffs to a game ending. It sounds insane to get emotional just blasting the people that made the game during the credits, but after completing this, you unlock the true ending where you can then sacrifice your own save to help others, then beat the creators of the game. Ending E is truly one of the best moments I've ever experienced playing a game, and I had one of the most cathartic feelings deleting my save at the end of it all. Final Fantasy XIV is my favorite game of all time, and I truly believe that it's a game that uses music to its advantage better than any other game, movie, or TV show does. And I do not say that lightly. I have never cried as much as I did playing the previous expansion Shadowbringers, and it even gave us Emmett Selk, the best character in anything I have ever seen or played. When the newest expansion Endwalker was announced, I was worried because it was the conclusion of the main arc of the game that started all the way back in Realm Reborn 10 years ago. And quite honestly, I thought there was no way that it would end well or come close to being as good as Shadowbringers. But it ended up doing that and more. Once again, major spoilers for the end of Endwalker, so if you haven't put in the 300 or so hours to catch up, please pause the video and do that right now. I'll wait. At the end of Endwalker, you arrive at the final location in the game called Ultima Thule. The area itself is a barren wasteland where everything around you is just false images of fallen civilizations of the past. Usually when you arrive at a new location in this game, a cutscene plays showing you the areas that you can visit while also playing the theme of the area. This time, however, all you hear is a very distorted piano playing, the one you're listening to right now. It isn't until one of your party members sacrifices themselves so that you can carry on ahead that you can hear the clear instrumentals of the song. At the very end of the area, when your final party members sacrifice themselves so that you can reach the final boss, the full version of the song, Close in the Distance, starts playing, now accompanied by vocals.
Whispers falling silently drift on the wind, but I hear you on journey.
During one of the final missions titled You're Not Alone, this song plays and you get a debuff, appropriately named Endwalker. This debuff forces you to walk the entire way to the final boss because you are weighed down by the burden to finish the mission by yourself. Through this mission, you walk past the spirits of those that you met throughout your entire journey, each one saying a memorable line that they said in the game, and all the while this song plays in the background, building up towards the final fight of the game. This song playing alongside seeing those that you met on your journey never fails to make me emotional. I remember streaming the entirety of this expansion on my Twitch channel and getting close to crying multiple times, but I think streaming the game made it harder to cry, Maybe because it's embarrassing to cry in front of others, but man, this moment hurt. And it was the first time I cried on stream. Call me a bitch all you want, but it truly felt like this was the end game. The end of everything. A 10-year journey finally concluding. And goddamn was it worth every second. Music is that cherry on top of your favorite games that when used correctly can greatly enhance the experience that you have when playing that game. It can help you get immersed in the game. It can make you laugh, it can make you cry, and it can make you feel like the coolest person in the world. The moments that I mentioned above would probably be good on their own, but the added music helps elevate them to greatness. Thinking that you failed the final fight when you fail a limit break check, only for the allies that you thought were gone for good come back and help you win the fight is one of the coolest moments in a video game. Hell, this entire fight when that final song came in using a mix of every main theme from previous expansions, I felt so fucking cool, and at the same time tears were building up and I couldn't even tell what the hell was happening half the time. You fighting the final boss, doing anything to stop her, ended up turning into the final boss struggling to fight you and the other Warriors of Light while your boss theme starts playing, thus creating one of the coolest moments that only video games can do. There are plenty of other games that I don't have the time to mention that have amazing soundtracks, such as the Soulsborne games, Persona series, Hotline Miami, Hollow Knight, and so on. I can really go on about this forever. I truly believe that great music in games can push a game to being one of the best and most memorable experiences that you can have. Oh shit, best part coming up. Damn, that never gets old. Now, was this video just an excuse to gush about some of my favorite games of all time? Yeah, and I'll do it again when I find something else that sticks with me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's my first one, so it's probably a little scuffed, but if you did, please hit the subscribe button and follow my Twitch where I stream every day. Also hit that like button, or dislike it if you didn't like the video. I'll definitely be making more videos in the future. I actually had a blast making this one, so hopefully I can get another idea cooking up and make another one. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.